Hi guys, it's Lisa. Welcome back to the House of Jane. Today I thought I would demonstrate how to make these bowl cozies. We received a template in our September 2021 Sew Sampler box, and I thought I would make some and let you know how it turned out. It turned out great. These are really easy to make. I made one with 2 different colors and very simple quilting. And I made another one where I did some free motion quilting, nothing really extravagant whatsoever. And this one was with the same fabric. So it was really easy to follow the instructions on this Creative Grids template. So here's the template. So I thought I'd walk through the steps with you. I normally don't do process videos on my channel because I don't have a studio set up, but I improvised, and hopefully this video will turn out okay and that you're able to see everything really clearly. So first thing you need is 2 pieces of fabric, and I've already pre-cut them and ironed them. I would suggest using like 10.5 by 10.5 or 11 by 11 just to play it safe. My fabric, I just eyeballed it, and they're 2 different sizes, but it's gonna work. And then you need, oh, by the way, you need 100% cotton fabric. You need 100% cotton, everything, fabric, thread, and batting. So I used Warm and Natural. This is the package. It's 100% needle cotton batting. I am in the process of doing a quilt, and the quilt is smaller than that twin size, so I cut a huge strip. And that's how we're going to cut out our batting. So first thing, let's cut out the fabric. Get a situation. So what you do is you take your fabric and you fold it in quarters. It's very easy. And what you have to remember when you fold your fabric and when you cut your fabric out, this is really important because I messed up on one of my bowls in cutting, but it still worked. And I'll show you. You take the folded edges and match it up to your folded edges of your fabric, just like that. And when you cut out the fabric, they tell you do not cut on the darts. So I will not be cutting on the darts right here and here. Now I did make the mistake and cut on the darts with the first project. I was still able to make a bowl cozy. But this one I will not cut out in the darts, so I will have extra dart fabric. And when you do the cutting on the cotton batting, you do cut out on the darts. And that's really clear from the template, from the directions right here that came with the project. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. It's weird. I'm not used to cutting on camera, so I'm a little nervous, so just bear with me. But basically you just cut around like this. I'm going to cut right off. Didn't quite get it right here. I'm butchering it now, but I'm almost there. There we go. So that's it. That's the first fabric cut, all done. Let's do the second one. Hopefully it'll go a little bit smoother. So I'm just going to fold it in half. Fold it in half again. And you could use 2 of the same fabrics or 2 coordinating. I picked the green to pick up the green in this fabric. I thought it would look pretty. take your fold line and put it on your 2 folds right here. And again, extend it out a little bit more. I am not going to cut on the darts. I'm going to leave the darts in place. So here, this is pretty close. I really don't have to do much there. So I got my 2 fabric pieces cut. Now we're going to cut 2 pieces out of the batting. And again, you want to have that in quarters, just like that. And I am going to cut the darts. I have a pretty fresh blade in here. I probably should have changed out my blade, but these endurance, I think I'm using an endurance blade, and it's pretty good. Maybe it's not very good. Okay, so I am doing a little time-lapse photography of that cutting because it was quite tedious, and I probably should have put in a sharper blade in my rotary cutter. So make sure you got a sharp blade in your rotary cutter, as you won't struggle as much as I did in cutting out the batting. And I always save my scraps of batting for projects, especially, you know, like pin cushions. All right, so the rest of the project, it's going to go hopefully more smoother from this point forward. What you do is you take your batting, lay it down on the table, and you place your fabric right side up on the batting. And I like to pin versus using the clips. And I'm going to be doing a very simple, I'm going to do straight line quilting for this cozy versus the free motion. I'm better at straight line quilting, and I'm going to show you how easy just doing straight lines are. I didn't need to draw lines on my fabric. I just eyeballed it and used a regular foot on my machine. I didn't even use my walking foot. And I'll show you how quickly this is going to go. So you can see we have fabric over the darts. If you mistakenly cut it out and cut your fabric on the darts, you can still make the bowl cozy. I just lined it up and it was no problem sewing it, even though I had cut out the darts. It was just as easy. And I really didn't even have a preference on which way to do it. Darts or no darts on the fabric. Okay, that is it. I am going to go now and transition to the sewing machine and do some straight line quilting and meet you back at the table. So what I'm going to do now is just some very basic stitching. I'm going to do straight line quilting, nothing complicated. I have just my regular running stitch. And once this is done, we could put the bowls together. So let's get started. So now I have my quilted piece. Very simple straight line design. I didn't even have to draw on the fabric because it was just very easy for me to eyeball it. And at this point in time, I am going to do the darts. So in the instructions, it says that you align the cut edges of batting of the darts. So what you do is you take your material and you align the two darts right there. See how I have it aligned? And what I'm going to do is sew a 1/4 inch this way on each dart, just like that. I'm going to sew imaginary line that goes right like that. And make sure my darts are together, like so. And I'm going to do that on all 4 darts. So I'm going to do this side first. Then I'm just going to flip it over and line up these 2 darts and do it there. And once these 2 opposite darts are done, I'm going to turn the fabric and fold it like that and line up the darts on the other side and sew a 1/4 inch. And once that 1/4 inch is sewn on all 4 sides, then I just trim this extra fabric. So let's get started with that. putting on my 1/4 inch presser foot. And with my machine, I have to move my needle so I don't damage my needle. There we go. Okay. So it's real important to line up your darts and your batting really good before you sew, because you want to capture both sides evenly as possible. So that looks pretty good, feels good. I'm just going to go ahead and start sewing, and I'm going to reinforce the front and the back. I'm going to go back and forth and reinforce it. So that's what it will look like finished. And then the other side. And I don't really worry about, you know, getting a perfect 1/4 inch. So don't stress if you're not getting it perfect, because these bowls are pretty much, this pattern is so flexible. See? Now I'm going to take the fabric, open it up, and get the other darts on this side. This is the hardest part in the whole project, is just getting this part done, which is really not hard. It's very easy. I would definitely classify this project for beginner sewers. Not a problem. I need to change out my needle, but I am going to wait because I don't want to pause the video. So now I'm matching up this side. I'm matching up the fabric. Well, I'm really matching up the batting is what I'm eyeballing. I want to match that batting to be totally even, because I did make one the other day and it shifted a little bit and it just didn't look good. Just make sure your batting is matched up nicely. Okay, so that's done. I have to say that people that have studios and do videos in a studio have it much easier than I do. That's why I don't do a lot of videos, because it's so hard to get everything set up correctly. And what I'm going to do is just cut away the fabric. I'm not going to cut the batting, just going to cut away this extra fabric. It's going to be easy peasy. Just take it, my ruler. See? That's all you have to do. Hope you can see it good. See, earlier I made a mistake, but I didn't worry about it because I knew I was cutting this out later on, so it didn't matter. I had it on the wrong stitch. Always remember to close your blade so you don't hurt yourself. Okay, so there we go. I have a finished bowl, half of a bowl. So yesterday I made the other half off camera. So here's my other half. Okay, so what you do now, it's really easy. I'm going to read it straight from the instructions. You place the 2 units right sides together, matching up the curved edges and darts. Tip: push the dart seam allowance in opposite directions to reduce bulk. Wonder clip and pin as you go. So I am going to take this to my ironing board. I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to, I want to open my seams right here. I want to iron them flat. And then I'm going to sew, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go iron my seams open. Okay, I'm back. So this is totally optional to open your seams and iron them. It doesn't say to do that in the directions, but I thought it was just easier for me to put this together. So what you do is you place the bowls inside of each other and right sides facing together. And you clip it and sew a 1/4 inch around, all the way around, and leave an opening. Now I found it easier to leave an opening on this, like a flatter edge versus on a curve, because after you turn it inside out, then you're going to have to top stitch it shut. And I just thought it was easier to do that in a flatter area. So with this, I am going to use my Wonder Clips. Here's my Wonder Clip holder. And let's get to clipping. So I enjoyed putting this video together, and I want to start doing more sewing videos. And I will just have to figure out a better way to film so at least you can see it better. I want to do videos for the beginner sewer on how to do things. And I'm just to let you know, I'm trying to keep my seams kind of butted, like one on one side and one on the other. It says it reduces bulk that way. But for me, sewing is, I am not a perfectionist when it comes to sewing. I'm the get her done type of girl. As long as I have 1/4 inch seams and or close enough where I can finagle things, you know, I am doing fine. I don't stress for perfection. I stress for let's get her done. That's my philosophy. Let's get her done. And of course, you know, when sewing, accuracy and cutting is really important. So how will I remember where to stop and start? A lot of people, I'm going to put this big red one here to remind me to, this is going to be my reminder to stop when I get to the big red one, or at least till I get to around here. Okay, let's see how I can film this, and so you can see I will probably speed up a lot of the filming because you'll know what it's like to sew, right? Hopefully. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below. I love answering questions and communicating. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start around here. I'm going to back stitch after I go a couple of stitches, and let's let her rip. So it looks good. I seem to have caught the fabric and the batting everywhere. And now it's just turning it inside out. And I'm gonna go ahead and press this, and I will be right back. Well guys, I thought I had my camera running, but I didn't. I had it on photo, but what I did was I top stitched around the entire bowl. I turned it inside out and I top stitched around the entire bowl. Sorry I didn't have that on film. I thought I was filming it, but I didn't. So here's the finished bowl. And this is what it looks like when you put a bowl in. You can put in different size bowls into your cozies. They all work. I thought it was a very fun project, very easy. Sorry for my not so stellar video skills, but this is basically what they look like when they're done. So if you enjoyed the video and would like to see some more, let me know in the comments below. I would love a thumbs up and a subscribe. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care all. Bye.